The Millionaire Next Door, a tale of hidden wealth. The beginning of a journey. Imagine it's 1973, and a curious man named Tom Stanley sits at his desk, scratching his head. He's a professor with a PhD, fascinated by rich people. Who are they really, he wonders. How do they get all that money? Fast forward a few years, and he teams up with his friend Bill Danko, another PhD with a knack for numbers. Together, they decide to hunt for the truth about America's wealthy. They don't just guess. They dig in, asking questions, sending surveys, and talking to real millionaires. By 1996, their adventure becomes a book, The Millionaire Next Door. Years later, in 2010, Tom adds a new chapter to the story, proving their discoveries still shine bright. This isn't a tale of glittering mansions or movie star lifestyles. It's about regular folks, like the neighbor you'd never suspect, who quietly stack up millions. Tom and Bill find out that wealth isn't about fancy cars or big paychecks. It's about saving pennies, making smart choices, and living simpler than you'd expect. Let me take you on their journey, chapter by chapter, through the lives of the people they meet. A new chapter after the storm. Preface, 2010. Picture it. 2008 has just hit America like a hurricane. Stocks crash, houses lose value, and people panic. A reporter corners Tom in 2010, asking, "Are the millionaires gone?" Tom smiles and shakes his head. "They're still here," he says, kicking stronger than ever. He tells her about Ms. T and her husband, a couple who could live next door to you. Ms. T wears a Timex watch, her husband a Seiko. They shop at JCPenney and drive old Fords. Their house, worth $275,000, nothing fancy. A haircut costs Ms. T $18. But here's the twist, they're millionaires. They didn't lose everything in the crash because they don't bet all their money on stocks or homes. Tom explains, most millionaires keep just 20 to 30% in stocks. The rest? Businesses, real estate, smart investments they control. Tom's been chasing this story since 1979, when he studied how people invest for the New York Stock Exchange. Then, in 1980, a banker hired him to find America's millionaires. One morning, his friend John Robin drops a bombshell. Half of them don't even live in rich neighborhoods. That's when Tom's eyes light up. The real millionaires aren't in penthouses, they're right next door. The first clue, introduction. Let's rewind to the early days of Tom and Bill's quest, 20 years before the book. They start by knocking on doors in fancy neighborhoods, expecting to find millionaires dripping in gold. But something's off. The people in big houses with shiny cars? They're broke, living paycheck to paycheck. Then they stumble into regular streets, where lawns aren't perfect and houses aren't huge. That's where the treasure hides. Tom quits his professor job, diving deeper. He and Bill talk to over 500 millionaires face-to-face, send out thousands of surveys, and help big companies understand the rich. Their big aha moment? Wealth isn't what you earn, it's what you keep. Imagine a guy making $100,000 a year. If he spends it all, he's got nothing. But if he saves half, he's on the millionaire path. They meet people asking, "Why aren't I rich?" Like Sarah, a lawyer with a fat salary, always buying designer bags. Tom and Bill promise her, and you, a map to wealth, straight from the Millionaire's Playbook. Chapter 1. The Man in the Old Truck. Meet John, a 57-year-old guy with a scruffy beard and 3 kids. He's married, owns a small welding business, and lives in a $320,000 house he's had for 20 years. John's not retired. 2/3 of folks like him still work, mostly running their own boring companies. Pest control, rice farming, mobile home parks. His income? About $131,000 a year, though some make more, pushing the average to $247,000. His net worth? A cool $1.6 million, with some hitting $3.7 million. John doesn't look rich. His suits are cheap, his car's a beat-up Ford, and he's never leased anything. His wife, Mary, keeps the budget tight. She's the real hero, he says. They save 15% of every dollar and have a go-to-hell fund, enough to live 10 years without a job. John's not from money. 80% of millionaires like him built it themselves. Tom and Bill call John a PAW, a prodigious accumulator of wealth. He's way ahead of what his age and income predict. They've got a trick to figure this out. Multiply your age by your income, divide by 10. For John, 57 times $131,000 is $7.5 million. Divided by 10 is $750,000. He's worth double that, so he's a PAW. Compare him to Mike, a 56-year-old doctor making $560,000 but spending it all on a mansion and BMW. Mike's worth just $1.1 million, half what he should be. He's a UAW, an underaccumulator. One night, Tom hosts a dinner for 10 millionaires like John. A trust officer in a $5,000 watch sneers, "These guys can't be rich." But John's got more cattle, wealth, than the officer's big hat, showy stuff. A Texan at the table, wearing jeans and rebuilding diesel engines, laughs. "I don't look pretty, but I've got millions." Chapter 2. The Thrift Shop Treasure. Next, Tom and Bill peek into John's closet. No $1,000 suits here, just $295 ones from a discount store. His watch? A $50 Seiko. Mary buys shoes for $15 and cuts coupons. They're frugal, crazy frugal. Their secret? Living way below what they earn. At a diner, John sips coffee and says, "We don't need debt." Most millionaires avoid credit cards like the plague. Mary chimes in, "Charity starts at home." Only 18% of their kind disagree. They don't chase fashion or flaunt cash. Contrast that with Sarah, the lawyer. She drops $500 on suits and $200 on shoes, flashing a gold credit card. She looks rich, but her bank account's empty. John and Mary, they're stacking millions by skipping the glitz. Chapter 3. The Two Doctors. Now picture two doctors, north and south, both earning $200,000 a year. Drive North lives in a modest house, drives a 5-year-old Chevy, and saves big. He's got $1.5 million tucked away. Drive South? He's got a mansion, a leased Mercedes, and just $300,000 saved. They're the same age, same job, but worlds apart. Tom and Bill watch them. North spends evenings planning investments, working 50 hours a week. He fears losing his freedom if he stops saving. South golfs, shops, and worries about keeping up appearances. North's a PAW. South's a UAW. One day, North tells Tom, "Time's my gold. I use it to build, not burn." South brags about his new boat, but his smile fades when the bills hit. The lesson? Wealth comes from how you spend your hours and dollars. Chapter 4. The Car Lot Showdown. Let's roll into a car lot. John's there, eyeing a used Ford pickup. "Good enough," he says. Only 23% of millionaires buy new cars yearly, and most stick to American brands. Leasing? Rare. Tom and Bill check the numbers. A Dodge Ram costs $3.59 per pound. A Jaguar $15.17. Guess which John picks? Across the lot, Sarah test drives a BMW, grinning. "This screams success," she says. But her wallet cries. Luxury eats her savings. John's truck rattles home, leaving him richer. A trust officer in a leased Porsche scoffs at John, but Tom whispers, "That truck's owner could buy this lot." Chapter 5. The Gift That Backfires. John's got 2 grown kids, David and Christy. He paid their college tuition, but stopped there. They need to stand alone, he says. Tom and Bill find 46% of rich parents give economic outpatient care, cash, homes, more tuition, to adult kids. It sounds nice, but it's a trap. Take Sarah's son, Tim. She buys him a condo and sends $10,000 checks. Tim's a UAW, spending it all, saving nothing. John's kids? They're paws, building their own nests. One millionaire tells Tom, "I gave my boy too much." Now he's 40 and still calls for help. Chapter 6. The Family Favor. John's daughter Christy earns less than David, even in the same field. Men get the better deal, John sighs. He's tempted to give her extra, and many millionaires do. Daughters get more help. But inheritance? Rare. Only 19% of millionaires like John get trust funds. 80% start from scratch. Tom meets an heir, James, who got $5 million from Grandpa. James blows it on yachts and parties, a classic UAW. John's grit, building wealth himself, beats James's silver spoon any day. Chapter 7. The Quiet Gold Mine. John's welding shop isn't sexy, but it's steady. Tom and Bill call these dull normal businesses: pest control, coin dealing, paving. They don't dazzle, but they pay. John tells David and Christy, serve the rich, be an accountant or lawyer. More millionaires mean more clients. One night, John sketches a future. Estates worth $1 million plus will boom by 2000. Find your niche, he says, where others don't look. His kids nod, dreaming of stable gold over risky glitter. Chapter 8. The Dog and the Millionaire. Meet Mr. W, a gruff guy worth $30 million. He owns factories making gauges and equipment, dull stuff that pays big. He lives in a middle-class neighborhood, drives a GM sedan, and loves his 30-pound dog. Most millionaires like him are self-made, beating odds with thrift and hustle. Mr. W buys condos in sunny spots, selling them to fancy folks, UAWs with big egos. They pass rules banning his dog, saying it's too heavy. Get rid of it, they demand. Mr. W fights back, crashing their meeting. I'll keep my dog, he roars, or rent this place to my factory workers. The crowd gasps. Blue-collar neighbors? They cave, letting the dog stay. Later, Mr. W sells anyway. I don't fit with those show-offs, he grumbles. His kids? He pushes them to be doctors or lawyers, safe, smart jobs. Coal mines make cash, he says, but 1 in 3 fails. Doctors win 9 times out of 10. Risk, to him, is 1 paycheck, not many customers. The big lessons. Through John, Mr. W, and others, Tom and Bill weave a tale of hidden wealth. Millionaires save 15 to 20% of their cash, dodge luxury traps, and build it themselves. 80 to 85% from nothing. Pause like John choose freedom, UAWs like Sarah chase status. Dull businesses, like welding or janitorial work, quietly mint money. Here's what they'd tell you. Live cheap, skip the $500 suits. Plan smart, grow your money, not your garage. Stand alone, don't lean on family cash. Pick steady, boring beats flashy. Look ahead, wealth's a marathon, not a sprint. The end of the trail. Tom and Bill's journey ends with a simple truth. Millionaires hide in plain sight. From 1973 to 1996, they uncover a map anyone can follow. In 2025, it still works. Save more, spend less, and build your own fortune. John's old truck rolls on, Mr. W's dog barks happily, and the millionaires next door keep stacking their millions, one quiet day at a time.